Now, Raila Odinga recently made it very clear that he will only declare his 2022 plans after the BBI referendum. And that statement by Raila Odinga, in my view, only meant one thing: that the outcome of the BBI referendum is going to determine whether the name Raila Odinga will be on the ballot in 2022 or not.
We had told our people, I tell them now that we said we were going to Canaan, okay? But Canaan we are going as Kenyans, not just as NASA or ODM. Even Jubilee people were taken to Canaan. And that's why we said that when we met with President Uhuru Kenyatta, we looked at the road.
What do you say to people who say this BBI thing is some kind of scheme between you and the president to determine a certain political arrangement in 2022?
That is their view. We ourselves had said from the beginning that we don't want to talk about 2022. And you've never heard the president talk about 2022. Neither have I ever talked about it. I've avoided talking about 2022 because we said we wanted to rectify what happened in 2017 so that we don't have a repeat of this in the coming elections. Those who say, I am too old, I should go and retire, and they look at my goats at home, I say, fine. I don't even answer them. Those who say I should continue, I also say I'm not talking about 2022. So I cannot mug people who want to speak. We live in a democracy. Everybody has got his own right to speak his or her own mind. Okay, but I will not answer them, will not talk about it. The president will not talk about 2022 on succession.
When are you going to talk about 2022? Because you will at some point.
After the BBI.
No, that's Raila Odinga. And there are several facts which we already know. That the deputy president, William Samoei Ruto, is going to run for the presidency in 2022. The other fact I want you guys to know is that Musalia Mudavadi is also going to run for the presidency in 2022. So far, I'm not sure about Kalonzo Musyoka. Raila Odinga is also likely to run for the presidency in 2022. As a matter of fact, his supporters expect nothing other than the name Raila Odinga on the ballot in 2022. I don't imagine a situation where Raila Odinga will not be on the ballot and how his supporters, not really supporters, his followers, are going to react to that news. But the statement by Raila Odinga means only those two things: that the outcome is likely to determine, the BBI outcome is likely to determine whether he's going to run or not. But what are some of the reasons why Raila Odinga will only declare his plans after the BBI referendum? And are we going to have the BBI referendum in this country? The first reason, in my view, is that Raila Odinga is monitoring the system's plan. Is the system ready to change this constitution? Or are they taking Raila Odinga for a ride? Those are the questions. And the other question is, which is being asked, is the system ready to hand over the presidency to Raila Odinga with the constitution of the Republic of Kenya the way it is today? Are they ready to do that? And if they are not ready to do that, what are some of the changes they are going to propose? Because let's face it, there's something called the system. It's not only in Kenya. Let me use the right term. Deep state. It's not only in Kenya. It's everywhere. So we can't run away from it. Even we witnessed recently Donald Trump crying. So this is the deep state. So this deep state might be planning to support Raila Odinga. But are they comfortable with Raila Odinga becoming the president of the Republic of Kenya using the current constitution? And if they are not comfortable with Raila Odinga becoming the president using the current constitution, it means only one thing: that they are likely to push for the BBI referendum to allow for the change of the constitution. And what are some of the changes which these guys are going to effect. Remember yesterday, the deputy president was interviewed on Citizen TV. And the deputy president stated very clearly that he, as the deputy president of the Republic of Kenya, he never submitted his views before the BBI. But he stated something, that he used other avenues to submit his proposal. He also indicated that President Uhuru Kenyatta never submitted his proposal. But I want to also believe that the president also might have used a different strategy. And he also went further, the deputy president went further and indicated that even Jubilee Party never had any meeting anywhere to take a stand on the BBI. But the BBI report was actually handed over to President Uhuru Kenyatta. So which means if the deputy president was not involved, the president was not involved, and ultimately the president received this report, it means there is a system, or there's a deep state, which was steering the entire process. And the question is, can they support Raila Odinga with the current system? So if they'll be comfortable with that, then Raila Odinga will declare. And again, also, if they are not comfortable with Raila Odinga serving under the current constitution, it means they're likely to propose the name of someone else. And that's what Raila Odinga will be waiting for. Let them propose the name of someone else, then he can then decide whether to run or to support someone else. Either he can decide to support someone else or even the deputy president. So I'm looking at it from that particular perspective. The system is the main reason why Raila Odinga will only declare his bid after the referendum. It will be very clear for him after the referendum whether his bid will be successful in 2022 or not. And I'm sure Raila Odinga will not just go for the presidency this time, just for the sake of going for it. He will only go for it only if he's sure of winning the ticket, the seat. So he will definitely have to wait. Number two is the inclusivity. One of the issues which the BBI wanted to address was the issue of exclusivity, where the rest of the country believes that they are never part of the government. And if you listen to the deputy president yesterday, he was kind of also addressing this particular matter, that in their own scheme of things as Jubilee, they wanted to form a big party, national party, so that once that national party takes over the leadership of the country, then it takes care of the entire country. But it has never worked like that. These political parties have their places, their tribes. Our politics is actually tribal. Jubilee Party previously was for 2 tribes. And even in the last time, there were only 2 tribes. You look at the way the appointments were being distributed when Ruto was still powerful. It was either Kalenjin, Kikuyu, and the rest. Now, Uhuru Kenyatta, there's Raila Odinga, so at least you can hear a Luo somewhere there, Kikuyu somewhere there, someone from the coast, maybe Western. But in reality, there is nothing like national or inclusivity. There has been exclusivity. So to address this, the BBI was proposing that we have a president, then we have 2 deputy presidents, we have a prime minister, and 2 deputy prime ministers. So these 6 positions are actually going to be distributed across. So instead of having 2 tribes, we can now talk of 6 tribes. And that's why the deputy president, being smart, was talking of creating tribal chiefs. And this inclusivity, for it to be achieved, assuming the BBI is going to pass, it's going to have prime minister, president. So Raila Odinga cannot declare now that he wants to be president. And probably that president doesn't have meat in it. He can't. And probably the president might also have other plans in terms of who he wants to bring on board as the prime minister, who he would want to be the deputy president, something like that. So Raila Odinga cannot go ahead now and declare his bid until he's so sure that the Building Bridges initiative has gone through, and after going through, then it has included these particular positions. And once those positions are clear, then Raila Odinga cannot craft an alliance. He can say, I'm going to go for the presidency. Then, now this is how we are going to operate. This guy is going to go for the prime minister. we are going to have 2 deputy presidents here, we are going to have 2 deputy prime ministers there. Because running now without knowing whether the constitution is going to be changed would be a waste of time. I want to give you a typical example. The deputy president has been running all over because he's the only presidential candidate so far who is campaigning. The rest have neither declared nor they are busy campaigning. But the deputy president is campaigning. Assuming these guys will go ahead and change the constitution, and in the change of the constitution, the position of the prime minister then becomes more powerful than the president. But this guy has been campaigning for the presidency. So it would mean that either way, he can decide to shift now to be the prime minister. And something is convincing me that's why Raila Odinga is still not campaigning so far. Number 3, I think Raila Odinga is also trying to avoid to be seen to be frustrating the proposed changes in the constitution. If Raila Odinga were to go out there and start campaigning for the presidency, I can tell you today, Musalia Mudavadi, Moses Wetangula, and even Kalonzo Musyoka might also go out there just to oppose Raila Odinga. So Raila Odinga is telling these people that for me, I'm not going to talk about 2022. And of course, they have been consistent since the handshake. They've been consistent that they're not going to talk about it. So talking about it would only mean one simple thing: creating more friction in the country. The deputy president will now start hitting on Raila Odinga. They'll say, okay, this guy anatudanganya huku, but in real sense, he just wants to become the president of the Republic of Kenya. So Raila Odinga is trying to avoid to be seen to be someone who is just power hungry. The Raila we know today, we are only 2 years, 2 years to the next general election. Raila Odinga we know today would be all over this country, selling himself. But Raila Odinga is not doing that currently. What's happened to Raila Odinga? What's really happening to him? Probably he doesn't want to be seen to be jeopardizing the proposed changes to the constitution. And lastly is electoral reforms. So far, my concern as a Kenyan citizen is only one: the electoral reforms in this country. Are we going to have a free, fair, and credible elections? Is it possible that if we go to the polls today, the Chebukati Commission is going to declare the winner with the exact votes? Or are the systems still going to be manipulated? Because of electoral reforms, Raila Odinga cannot just go out there and start campaigning. He will be wasting his time. So Raila Odinga has opted to wait until the BBI is passed. Because in the BBI, they are actually trying to address the electoral reforms. They are proposing to have commissioners who are appointed, some by political parties, so that we don't have a situation where all the commissioners don't report to any political party. If you are a member of URP, for example, you are a member of you are recommended to serve as a commissioner by the deputy president. It will be difficult, if you are true to him, to his cause, it will be difficult for you to agree to things which is going to affect him. So at the end of the day, if the political players in this country will agree to change the constitution, to bring changes to the IBC, then those changes at the end of the day are successful, then Raila Odinga can decide to run. Otherwise, before those changes, I'm sure Raila Odinga will not waste his time going to the polls whose outcome is already known. The deputy president denied the existence of rigging in this country. Elections are rigged. Not only the general election, even elections in churches are rigged. Even the university elections are rigged. Elections all over, even the SACCO elections are rigged. Just recently, we witnessed Gor Mahia conducting elections. Someone claimed the elections were rigged. So the elections rigging in this country is a known thing. And I was actually sad that instead of pushing for electoral reforms, because electoral reforms is going to help both Raila Odinga and the deputy president. The deputy president was denying the existence of electoral malpractices in this country, which I found to be sad. In 2007, Tharaka Nithi had how many registered voters? were they 37? And the ECK, Electoral Commission of Kenya, declared how many votes for Moi Kibaki in that constituency? Almost 80 something, a gap of 50. So that was being done just to deny Raila Odinga victory in 2007. And of course, on this platform, I avoid talking about 2017 and 2013. But on 2017, I will talk about that. That election was rigged. The deputy president is well aware. President Uhuru Kenyatta is well aware. Moi Kibaki knew he rigged it. Martha Karua knew he rigged it. So Raila Odinga cannot go for another election without proper electoral reforms. And electoral reforms are part of the BBI recommendations. I don't know what you think, and that's my take. And if you're watching this video for the first time, please take a second or two once again and click the subscribe button. And to those who have been asking for the t-shirts, I want to really, I'm very sorry. I just realized that the cost of transporting, of shipping the t-shirts outside the country is very expensive. I was intending to sell the t-shirts at a cost of 1,500 each, Kenyan shillings. Then I can ship. But now, shipment alone is almost the same amount of money. So unless anybody is comfortable with that amount, that figure, shipment around 1,500, and the t-shirts, then I'll send them. But for the local people here, I think I've started shipping them to those who are interested. So I just wanted to make that clear, because I remember some people were asking me about the shipment cost, and it's a bit expensive. But if you're comfortable with that as a way of supporting the channel, please just order, then we can start shipping them immediately outside the country. And those who are locally here and are interested in the t-shirts, please just place the order. And again, I want to encourage people, you can always purchase one for some members here, then I can send them. Like I know there's a guy from Mombasa who is really in need of a t-shirt. So I'll also deliver to him, but you can also support for those who are outside. For example, we might not get the opportunity to deliver, or you just want to buy to promote a channel, please, you can do that. Thank you guys, and please, may you have a good day.